Yes, I had more. Here's everything that I would change about Arcane Season 2, Part 2. Why was this a thing? Why was this necessary? Well, we had a perfectly fine guardian who found two parentless children on the street, picked them up, and just left. That was perfectly fine. I did not mind the fact that he knew their mom. I minded the fact that they were just like all in this little trio best friend group. Because Season 1 gave absolutely no indication that this man gave a single shit about children, let alone Vi and Powder. He was actually about to unalive both of them. Vander made no mention of her mother or her father. Silco made no mention of her mother or her father. Why did we need this? I tell you why, because they were trying to build this imaginary relationship between Vander and Silco that was no longer present. We talk about how class blind Arcane Season 2 is. This is another example, because how come these two men who are philosophically different down to their core become friends again? It doesn't make sense. Based on who Silco and Vander are as people, it makes no sense. Like, oh yeah, they wrote a sorry note. That would have changed everything. They would have been best friends. I'm like, no, it wouldn't have. The way in which they were going about their lives, in which they were handling their own oppression and how they want to build Zon, different. You can't just go to an alternative universe and have them like click glass and be like, oh yeah, we're brothers now. And by the way, can we talk about how cringe that episode was? I absolutely hate this trope. Like someone's trying to blend in a place where they don't belong and they just like give the most obvious cues away where it's like, Vi is dead? Didn't you two hate each other? That awkward look they gave, that was how the audience felt. That was secondhand cringe. And by the way, y'all about to hate me for this, but I hate them. Yeah, I hate them. I'm not mad about the alternative universe, Echo and Powder, because I think that makes sense, but our Jinx, our Echo, no. And the way that he came back with his puppy dog ass crush on her, it was weird. Like if he wanted to like make amends and be friends with her again because he had a new understanding of what she went through and how she would have came out the way that she did. But he's also watched Silco and Jinx specifically take out what? Dozens of his friends, Firelights? But no, let's have a 2-minute dance sequence and let's put a French song over it because it's so fitting, because it shows how much the show just gave up. Because they really did not know how to wrap that show up to match Season 1's pacing, because Season 1 was radical as shit to the point where I feel like Season 1 could have existed by itself. I guarantee a producer had to come and be like, yo, let's ease up on the advocacy just a little bit. Because notice the people who actually give a shit about Caitlyn losing her mom in Season 2 are the exact same Arcane fans people are trying to disassociate from. I said in Part 1 that I feel like Caitlyn's character was just like done really dirty, so either have her regret what she was doing from the get-go, double down on where she was heading, because this whole, oh, cupcake thing and she just did a whole 180 was corny. Get rid of this whole sequence, because I feel like I already said it in Part 1 that she should have just went back to the Undercity and found Echo. Instead of Jinx and Savika, it should have been Vi and Savika trying to fix Undercity after what Jinx did. Because here's something we never pointed out. Did Savika know that Jinx is the one who got rid of Silco? Did they know? And here's another thing. Here's my problem with this group. I don't got a problem that there's a radical group that came after Jinx. I expected that after Season 1. I don't mind that Jinx had followers. I don't mind that she became somewhat of an icon. I don't like that she became a hero to the whole Undercity. Because who didn't know who Jinx was in the Undercity? Because who didn't know who Silco was? Whoever knew who Silco was knew who Jinx was. I don't mind that she had a cult following. I'm mad that the whole Undercity was on her ass. Because there should have been some political divide, because the Undercity is not a monolith. Some people wouldn't be like, you brought these motherfuckers down here. You gave them a reason. Like the reason Vander didn't want to press his luck. There would be people who would be bloodthirsty, who are ready to go, like Silco. Season 2 is class blind because it took all the variety that we saw in the lower class in Season 1. Instead, what did it do? It gave us like a 3-minute music video to start each episode that we really didn't need. And there ain't no damn way that Undercity would have had that many damn volunteers to protect Topside. We lost Light Skin Jinx for nothing. We lost the baddie for nothing. Why the fuck were you even here? I feel like the thing that should have brought Vi and Powder back together was them having to put him down. I would have liked a little bit of an explanation why the fuck he was a wolf. And I know, League of Legends, the lore. To be honest, Season 2 partially sucks because they tried to match up with the game's lore. And this is coming from someone who doesn't even play League of Legends. I'm gonna go out on a branch and be brave and say that. Season 1 had its own thing going. It would have been fine if it did this whole parallel universe thing when people be like, oh, look at that, I know that character, cool. Someone said it best on here. If you love League of Legends, you would love Arcane. If you love Arcane, there's a 60-40, probably 70-30 chance that you would probably hate League of Legends. And I tried it, and matter of fact, I did. No offense, just not my thing. The fact that Season 2 came in, it's like, okay, now we need to start throwing out the lore. We need to start matching up the system. We need to start making Vi a cop because she's a cop in the game. And I'm like, no. That was just like the most distasteful 180 I've ever seen in my fucking days. I was offended by that. Once again, I would have liked a little bit of explanation why he turned Vander into a wolf. What about his daughter's survival turned you into a werewolf? Just everything they did to him. Echo goes to an alternative universe, make it so that he's already been working on a project. Because the fact that he ain't do shit except play banjo for that decade, and yes, he fixed his mistakes, but that just shows how much power he had to begin with and how much things he let go. Like, I did not like his character by the end of the series. Like, oh, you had that much effect on the Undercity that you could do all that? No, I choose not to like that plot point because I liked him as a character and I think that was lazy writing. I'm sorry. Yeah, just to save some face, have him build the machine before Echo even shows up. Yeah, you can have Jinx and Echo have the little moment helping out, but yeah, make him do most of the heavy lifting. That one folk song was not enough payoff for me. I'm so sorry.